In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Welcome back to New York, Ray. Ray Curtis from the 2-7, homicide. This is my case.
Mine too, now. Olivia Benson, SVU.
SVU?
Yeah, I got a call the victim showed signs of sexual assault. Your lieutenant said you guys were a little short-handed and my partner is on leave. So I'm here to assist.
Yeah, department cutbacks. Everybody wants more cops, nobody wants to pay more taxes.
And now we're down one more taxpayer.
Who is she?
Name tag says Rachel. Judging from the uniform, she was one of the housekeeping staff. Well, up until a few hours ago.
I guess someone didn't like the mint on their pillow. Hola, soy Detectivo Ray Curtis.
Soy Teresa Restrepo.
Restrepo. Is that Colombian?
Yes, how'd you know?
The neighbors across the hall when I was growing up. They made the best patacones. I get hungry just remembering. I need to ask you a few questions. You okay to talk?
Yes. Believe it or not, I've seen worse.
Seen worse? Really?
Let's start with an easy one. Can you tell me the victim's name?
Maybe. It's hard to remember. So many girls working here. Everybody always coming and going. I just learned to read the name tags like everyone else.
Well, could you try? For me?
Sure, you got nice eyes. Let's see. It wasn't Latina. It was, it was Rachel, I think.
What? What? A statement confirms the name tag Detective Benson found on the body, so we know Teresa is telling the truth. Well, how would I know that? You must remember evidence and testimony to help you judge truth from lies. But how? She never said it was... What? If you need to, you may consult the transcript before you make a decision. Icon appears in the upper left when transcript is available.
Great. Thanks, Teresa.
New topics can unlock as you get a witness to talk more and they reveal new...
So, crazy weather lately, huh?
Yeah. The kids, they just want to spend all day at the pool. What's this got to do with the murder?
Nothing. Just talking.
Not all topics are important. Some are red herrings, some misleading clues. They may be interesting, but they won't solve the case. Select a different topic to learn relevant.
We should get back to the victim. How long has she worked here?
No sé, she was pretty new. Started last month, maybe?
She have any trouble with anyone?
Trouble? No, not her. She was nice, you know? Quiet, polite. Actually, no, never mind.
What were you gonna say?
Well, she just never really seemed like one of us, you know? Like she had something else going on. Always watching everything and tapping on her phone. Era una adicción.
See anyone suspicious hanging around lately?
Yeah, the hotel is full of them. Lots of old businessmen always staring at you. Ugh.
Okay. How about anyone especially interested in Rachel?
No, I don't think so. She didn't even have a boyfriend.
Rachel didn't have a boyfriend. Statements like these will come in handy later. They're recorded in your transcript, so you can read them later.
You say she liked to use her phone. For what? You think she was earning a little extra money?
What, like John's? Are you asking did I think she was a whore, detective? I don't think so. But who knows? It would explain a lot.
Anything else about the phone?
She was always texting. Always. She also did some weird stuff. She took pictures of the rooms and even some guests. For a while, I actually thought she might be a cop.
Where would the phone be now?
Probably nearby. She always kept it close.
One last thing, Teresa. It would help us if we knew the last place Rachel might have been. Do you know which room she would have been cleaning?
That's the weird thing. Today was her day off. She shouldn't even be here.
So what was she doing all dressed up for work?
You're a detective. You figured it out, guapo.
Try again for a better score. What? Bonus stars to ace, 0 out of 2. What? I don't understand this, but we're gonna continue.
Hey, Benson, what you got?
I'm seeing a lateral bruise across her throat, not finger marks. More like a pipe or a cane.
No sign of a murder weapon?
Guess we better start looking. While you were busy being charming, I wrote down a couple of things to keep an eye out for. Her ID, her purse, her day planner or notepad, and of course any DNA evidence from her attacker. Might be under her fingernails.
And her cell phone. Teresa mentioned that might be important.
This is the evidence screen. It reminds you which pieces of evidence you're looking for in the scene. Once a piece of evidence is found, click on its icon for a more detailed description. Cell phone, DNA, nope. You can return to the evidence screen by clicking on the search icon. Select the arrows on the side of the screen to move around the crime scene. Select the right arrow to get a better view of the maid's card. If you see something you want to investigate, draw a circle around it with your... Some evidence may be partially hidden. Find and circle the dirty, crumpled towel on the card to find what's hidden underneath. Good job. Removing items is part of your job, so don't be afraid to open trash can objects when you see something trapped in it. The counter represents how many guesses it should take you to find all the evidence. Earn bonus points by discovering everything before the counter reaches zero. Continue searching for evidence by circling items of interest in the room.
Okay, good. We got our cell phone. Rachel Trevino, 27 years old, lives at 600 East 5th Street. Over in the East Village, if I remember right.
So are we looking for cell phone, DNA, notebook, victims? A notebook and DNA. Where would her notebook? DNA of it.
Broken fingernail. She scratched him up pretty bad, I bet. There's some kind of debris under there. Better get a swab for DNA.
What? Oh. Is that a notebook? That is a notebook, right? Oh, Lord. I'm seeing a notebook. There's no notebook here. Oh.
This could be Rachel's purse. It's not Coach, but not cheap either. Someone was taking care of her bills. Notebook. Just a couple of notes. Wider media. What the hell does that mean?
No bonus. Replay the scene.
Hey, Benson.
I'm seeing.
No sign of...
Guess we better. While you were busy being charming.
And...
Yes. Oh, please don't give me the tutorial again, at least. Right? Come on. Okay, fine. Try drawing a circle. There you go. Okay.
Okay, good. We got our cell phone. Rachel Trevino, 27 years old. Broken fingernail. She scratched him up pretty bad, I bet. Some kind of debris under there. Better get a swab for DNA. This could be Rachel's purse. It's not Coach, but not cheap either. Notebook. Just a couple of notes. Wider media. What the hell does that mean?
Bonus for grade. You increase your detective rank. Okay.
She's got a couple of voicemails. Let me see. Yep. Sounds like she was meeting somebody here. Okay, this is evidence. Let's get back to the precinct and give it to CSU.
Why not just listen to him now?
I better follow procedure on this one.
Such a Boy Scout.
Hey, if we solve this case, I finally get my murder merit badge.
Come on, I'll drive.
What?
Ray.
Morning, Lenny. Please tell me we got a new lead on the Central Park case.
Oh, sure. If you count nothing, nada, and bupkis.
It's been 6 weeks.
The murder weapon is probably at the bottom of the Hudson. I tell you what, I think we're stalled out, kid.
I hate loose ends, Lenny.
Tell me about it. At my age, I gotta tie him up as fast as I can.
Ray Curtis, as I live and breathe, back in my precinct after all these years. What happened? Finally sick of all that California sunshine?
My girls got worried if I wasn't solving murders, I might start committing them.
You met Detective Benson?
I did. She's good. Definitely easier on the eyes than Lenny Briscoe.
Yeah, but she's made of steel. Don't cross her, Ray.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Hey, I was gonna take this down to CSU. What the hell?
What's wrong?
The voicemails. They're all gone. Someone deleted them all.
And odds are it wasn't our victim. Looks like her carrier is Mercury Wireless. Pete Shanahan down in Fraud told me they've had some problems with security recently.
What?
Mercury Wireless Company policy is pretty clear. I can talk to you up to a certain point, but if we go over, I have to involve corporate counsel. They've instructed me to answer your questions and give you access to any relevant data.
Understood. Thanks for your time.
And why was he touching the cell phone without without wearing gloves?
Does the Mercury Wireless network cover most of the city?
Absolutely. We're very proud of it. No drop calls,
I
even in
should
the
have-
tunnels.
I'm sort of thinking of switching over.
Great.
Curtis, where are you going with this?
Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
I can sign you up today, and I can get you a special policeman's discount. Save some money for extra donuts.
Nice.
I think those red herrings are bad.
Could someone delete voicemails off a phone remotely?
Sure, that's a feature we offer.
How would they do it?
Easy. You just need to have the account PIN number, just like your bank ATM.
No, because she was dead. Yeah, let's just look at transcripts here. Oh, this is like the whole conversation. Okay, let's look at the first one, because why would they say that I should have known that the girl's name is... Oh. She did say her name was Rachel. I missed that. Curtis had her phone in and she was already there. Woohoo! What the fuck was that? Rachel Trevino was dead when the voicemails were deleted, making it impossible for her to delete them.
Who had access to Rachel Trevino's voicemails?
According to our account record, only Miss Trevino. There's no one else listed here. The only other persons with authorized access are myself, our customer representative team, and a few independent technical contractors.
Okay, that is tricky. Let's see. Also, it's pretty. I can talk to you about a certain point that we go over can involve corporate counsel. Could someone delete voicemails off a phone remotely? Sure, that's a feature we offer. How could they do it? Easy. You just need to have the account PIN number, just like your bank ATM. So, what was the question? Who has access to Rachel Trevino's voicemail? According to her account record, only Miss Trevino. There's no one else listed here. The only other persons with authorized access are myself, a customer representative team, and two independent contractors. That's incorrect, because anybody with a PIN be able to access her voicemail. What? Answering the question incorrectly during an interview or interrogation will earn you a strike. If you get 3 strikes, you will fail the investigation and will have to try again.
I don't believe you.
Why would I lie about something like that?
Because anybody with a PIN is able to get to her voicemail, I thought.
We're going to need to check all activity on the phone over the weekend.
This isn't Big Brother, despite what you might think. We do track calls, text messages, and data downloads, but not every single interaction.
Really? You sure about that?
Well, there are other records, but those are internal and restricted. I'm not authorized to show you those.
Oh my god. We need to check all activities on the phone over the weekend. This isn't Big Brother despite what you think. We track calls, text messages, and data downloads, but not every single interaction. Well, there are other records, but those are internal and restricted, not authorized to answer your questions, give you access to any relevant data. So he should be able to give us... Yes. God. Yay! Council instructed him to answer verbal questions. Council already authorized him to release all relevant records. Yep.
You said Council already authorized you to show us any relevant records. How about it, Mr. Gray?
Don't mess with Benson.
Let's have a look at those restricted records, Mr. Gray.
We prefer not to share those personal customer records. It can project a negative corporate image. It would be a complete invasion of our customers' privacy. You guys need a warrant.
Heck yeah! threaten him physically, fix all his traffic tickets, write a get out of jail free card for him, threaten to get a legal warrant, expose the secret data being kept on the customer's report. Oh lord, that's easy. I don't understand why
How
the
about
switch
we
is
go
the
get that
same.
warrant? Then we can search your restricted records and it all goes public at trial. How do you think your customers will like finding out you kept secret information about them?
Oh my God. All right. All right. I'll look it up.
We're conducting a murder investigation, Mr. Gray. We need to know what happened to those voicemails, and we need to know now.
Sure, we can go get a warrant if that makes you feel better.
But by that time, more of your customers might end up dead, like Rachel Trevino. That makes for a very negative corporate image.
All right. There's no record of who exactly deleted the voicemails. But honestly, someone modified her account about 2 weeks ago.
Who?
This is embarrassing, but it was one of our own contractors. He's a bit of a hacker. He could have accessed her information. He did not have company permission to do this.
But why?
He's a strange guy, Detective. Very intense. His name is Tom Newberry. Here's his contact number. One thing, you might not want to call from your precinct.
Oh, why not?
Tom knows how to crack caller ID. He always knows who's calling and from where.
Thanks for the tip.
And you guys still have this guy working for you?
Weird place for an interview, Curtis.
Witness requested we meet here.
He thinks it's all a big game.
I get the impression he's young. His mom answered the phone when I first called. Speaking of games, good cop or bad cop?
Bad cop, definitely.
Suits me.
Call me Anonymous.
We already have your name and phone number, dumbass.
We talked to some people at Mercury Telstar. You have a reputation there. People said you're good. Too good, maybe.
We thought you might have done something illegal, but they said their security is way too tough for you to crack.
Please, I wrote their security. The firewalls, the protocol encryption, it's all me, Detective.
So, you could crack a voicemail account?
Stupid easy.
What about deleting voicemails?
In my sleep, Detective.
And what did Mercury Telstar think of that?
FTP, Rachel. I'm gonna go to Rachel here.
Why would your old company accuse you of hacking?
Mercury Telstar hates me. They'll accuse me of anything. I'm a rogue anarchist activist. Those accounts are my playground.
And you hacked Rachel Trevino's.
I don't know. No. No. Why are you asking?
Your old company seems to think you did, and you apparently possess the skills.
No, I don't. Look, for instance, I couldn't have gotten through their firewall, right? No way. The protocol encryption alone is just way beyond my skill.
Comparing your poses or skills. No. He already did. Lion. Oh shit, I didn't ask him about the FTP. He wrote the system security.
You're lying, twerp.
Totally not lying, Detective.
Remember how you were bragging on how you wrote the security?
Oh. Right.
That gives you means. Now we just need motive and opportunity.
Hey, wait a second. You didn't Mirandize me. I know my rights.
Oh, Tom, this is just an interview, not an arrest. So sorry. Miranda doesn't apply.
Where were you on Saturday night?
Everywhere.
Tom, we can go downtown right now if that's how you want to play it.
Sorry, I was online. On a raid.
Anyone corroborate this?
About 20 warriors in my guild.
Let me rephrase. Did anyone real see you?
Yeah. My mom. I live with her. She was there the whole time.
A plausible alibi? I guess. Plausible. Her mother would never lie to protect her son, right? Benson stated that she knew Tom's mother from a previous case? What? Oh no, because he lives with the mom. It's like, where did that come
Yeah,
from?
I talked to your mom on the phone already. She know you're out this late?
Hilarious.
Did you know Rachel Trevino?
She mentioned your name on her blog.
She did? Oh my god, really? What'd she say about me? Does she like me? Does she want to meet?
You sure you didn't know her? Or want to know her? I mean, you're smart, Tom. All you had to do was hack in, learn her secrets, get close.
No, it's not like that.
But she still wouldn't have you. It drove you crazy. And then, things just got out of control. It's not your fault. Am I right?
Wait, what's not my fault? What are you talking about? Look, you gotta believe me. I didn't know this girl. I don't know any girls.
Oh god. Does he know any girl? Probably not. Well, that's a lie then, because his mom is a woman. Then this is a trick question. What?
So, why would a nice guy like you want to delete voicemails?
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Curtis, can I tase this guy?
Tom, I think you're starting to irritate my partner.
You like games, Tom? Let's play a game. It's called Detective Benson Likes You for a Murder. I throw you in jail, and you try to survive as long as you can against the drug addicts and the gang members who live there. You can post the results on your blog.
I can picture the Facebook update now.
I just... Okay. There was another reason. Would it surprise you to learn that the internet was developed by the Department of Defense? Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a weapon is what it is. But weapons are harmless when dismantled. My mission is to take the internet and explode it into a million pieces.
But then what will you do on Saturday nights?
Well, there's always Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's get back to Rachel Trevino.
So, Tom, how many FTPs do you have?
Where'd you learn that word? You're using that word wrong.
FTPs. Do you have them?
Someone taught you a computer word and you're using it wrong. Just stop.
What is this another reason?
Well, I was paid to access the account, of course.
By who?
I don't want to say.
You better say. Or do we need to call your mom and tell her you're running a hacking ring out of her basement?
Oh, Jesus, no. Look, don't get her involved. That woman has enough problems. These people are powerful.
Names. We need names.
I don't know their names.
But you know they're powerful? How does that work?
We only did business over the phone. They had their caller ID blocked, so I never knew their names.
No.
You're a terrible liar, Tom.
Your old boss told us you know how to crack caller ID codes. You know those names, and you're gonna tell us one way or another.
Oh.
You know what? Playtime is over. You better start coughing up solid answers or I'm throwing you in Rikers, and your mom will have to spend her last cent to post your bail.
Okay. But listen, I only hacked the accounts to sell the voicemail passwords.
Passwords? Plural?
Yeah, I did a lot of them. Celebrities, politicians, you name it. Then I sold the passwords to this lady named Gwendolyn Scott. She's like a PR flack.
Did she ask you to mess with Rachel's account?
Yeah? I figured it was corporate espionage or something. You know, what do I care? Let the capitalist pigs brawl in the mud. Who's it gonna hurt?
Rachel Trevino.
Have a great night, Deep Throat.
We're going to start by what we call defining your moment.
Gwendolyn Scott?
Yes.
I'm Detective Ray Curtis. This is Detective Benson. We need to talk to you for a minute.
So sorry, I'm busy.
It's important.
My client is important. You can call my office.
You know, a guy named Tom Newberry just gave me this girl's number, PR flack. She likes to buy voicemail passwords and blackmail her clients. Maybe I'll call her instead.
Five minutes. Was that fun, Detective?
Sometimes I like to play rough.
Well, so do I. But a little charm can go a long way.
Okay, you're gonna tell me how you deleted Rachel Trevino's voicemails.
Whoa, down boy. What voicemails?
If you don't tell me now, we're gonna take you downtown.
Fine. And I'll call my lawyer and we can just sit there and stare at each other like a bad first date, because I don't know what you're talking about and I don't like your attitude.
What?
Sorry, I promise this will only take a moment of your time. You're a busy girl.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And I promise I won't make up extra questions as an excuse to talk to you longer.
All right, Romeo, settle down. Ask away.
She's so forgiving. Oh, God.
Does the name Rachel Trevino mean anything to you?
No. Should it?
She was murdered last night. We found her body at the Parkview Regency.
Oh, poor girl. As if life isn't tough enough for housekeeping.
Yeah, how does she know that, yeah. How does she know about life as a housekeeper? How did she know Rachel's name? How did she know Rachel was housekeeper? Gotcha.
I didn't say anything about her being with housekeeping.
I must have read it in the paper.
Nothing's been released to the papers yet.
It must have been gossip. You know how these things get around, Detective.
That's kind of hard to guess that.
Tom Newberry already told us you knew her.
Oh, that Rachel. Of course. My mistake. I can be such an airhead.
Do you know Tom Newberry?
No.
Of course not. Newberry has already said she knew him and paid him for passwords.
He says he knows you. That's how we got your name.
A lot of people know me.
Do a lot of people call you?
Not the right people.
So if I look up your phone records and Tom Newberry called you, and you talked to him more than once, now, would I be crazy to think you're lying to me?
I'd say you were just jealous.
People in public relations can never be trusted. She hasn't yet to answer a single question truthfully. She's getting angry, and that's a sign of guilt. Second one.
I'm not the jealous type, Miss Scott, and I don't like playing games. You knew him.
Fine. Yes, we did business. I paid him for insider information.
You paid Tom for what, exactly?
Passwords. I paid Tom for access to voicemail accounts.
So you could delete Rachel Trevino's voicemails?
Look, I really shouldn't say.
Did you want to keep her quiet? Miss Scott, were you involved in her murder?
No, I did delete Rachel's voicemails, yes, but I did it for someone else, on someone else's orders. Understand?
That's really hard to determine. How do you know for sure? Tom has confirmed that she paid for access to the account and he never personally deleted voicemail. Her statement must be true because it makes her look guilty. James Gray confirmed that Tom Newberry deleted voicemails in the hacker attack. The statement is true because she's attracted to Curtis and is impress him.
All right, I'm listening. Why don't you tell me a little more? Was someone else involved? Who asked you to delete the voicemails?
A client. I really can't tell you.
I'm gonna find out anyway. I'm actually pretty good at this detective thing.
Well, crap. Guess it's all over for me anyway. Here's the deal. I gave Rachel's password and voicemails to my usual buyer, Alexander Baran.
Alexander Baran, as in CEO of Wider Media? The Russian guy who owns like half the television stations in America?
The very same. Baran bought Rachel's voicemail access from me a few weeks ago, and then told me to delete them all.
News case the Wider Media owns Mercury Telstar. Alexander Baran was listed on Rachel's phone. Wider media.
Wider media. Rachel wrote that in her day planner. It didn't click until now. Miss Scott, why was Alexander Baran interested in Rachel Trevino? She's a maid. He's a Russian billionaire. I don't get it.
Rachel Trevino was not a hotel maid. She was an activist, a blogger, and she had uncovered some dirty, dirty secrets about Alexander Baran. He's a very bad boy detective.
What did she find out?
Baran has a problem keeping it in his pants, especially when it comes to housekeeping staff. We've had to cover up a few unsavory encounters. Rachel tried to set up a sting going undercover at the hotel, and I honestly don't know what happened after that, but I think she got in over her head.
Did Baran kill her?
And this is where my lawyer would advise me to keep my mouth shut.
Come on, Gwen.
Oh, now it's Gwen. I like that. Okay, look, all I'm gonna say is the Parkview Regency Hotel has a front desk, right? Ask them who stayed there on Saturday.
Yay. Ooh, I got everything.
That was Cormac at the precinct. Alexander Baran was a guest at Parkview Regency the night Rachel was killed. He checked out earlier today, and he's on his way to MacArthur Airport. He's got a private jet and an appointment in London.
Well, he's gonna be late.
Mr. Baran! Mr. Baran! Detective Curtis, NYPD. We need to talk to you about the murder of a hotel maid over the weekend.
A maid? Are you serious? I'm leaving for London.
Look like about 1.5 inches to you, Ray?
Sure does.
Mr. Alexander Baran, you are under arrest for the murder of Rachel Trevino. You have the right to remain silent.
I don't know why we're wasting time here. I'm a Russian. I have diplomatic immunity.
We did a little research on you, Mr. Braun. Rachel's blog was a very interesting read. Maids? Waitresses? Executives at your own company? Is there any woman you wouldn't hit on? Your mom?
Miss Benson, I am a handsome, virile man. I radiate power. Women are attracted to it despite themselves.
Here's a clue. When a woman is attracted to you, she does not slap you with a sexual harassment lawsuit. You've had 12.
I'm a flirt. I get slapped with all sorts of things.
Machismo.
You've had 12 lawsuits?
Yes, what of it? They were all resolved.
I'm just impressed. I mean, you gotta be some kind of gentleman to cause that much noise.
I appreciate your sarcasm, but I'm not allowed to discuss the details of my settlements.
That was a red herring, really? It's like the history of the accused.
You had access to Rachel's voicemails, and you destroyed them to cover up your connection.
Not true. I never touched the voicemails.
That is true because he made the lady actually. True, the slippery eel is technically telling the truth. It was Gwendolyn Scott.
Nice try. Gwen Scott told us she deleted the voicemails on your orders. You're guilty as sin, Baran.
If you say so.
Rachel knew all about you. She was gathering evidence about you, about unreported assaults.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I never even heard these voicemails you're so very concerned about.
You know, killing the witness to a crime gets you an automatic upgrade to Murder 1.
What crimes? What witness?
Rachel had evidence on you, Baran. She knew what you were up to.
She wasn't a witness to anything. Those voicemails were about an expose, a plan to blackmail me.
You're lying, and we can prove it.
His lips are moving. Baran is likely a target for blackmail because of his wealth. Baran couldn't know what was in the voicemail unless he'd heard them, which he denied doing earlier.
You just told us you never heard those voicemails, so there's no way you could know what they were about. You heard them, and you know it. You're looking better and better for this murder with every lie that comes out of your filthy mouth.
Filthy mouth.
Did you know Rachel Trevino?
No.
We have DNA evidence that says you did.
What kind of evidence?
A rape kit.
You don't know what you're talking about. It was completely consensual.
So you do know her?
You cops think you have it all figured out. Guess what? We were lovers.
Who stated Rachel had no boyfriends? Hotel maid.
I'm not buying it. Sorry, Charlie. An earlier witness already told us Rachel didn't have a boyfriend. And you lied about knowing her just now. That's 2 strikes.
A jury might see it different. When I left the room, that girl was alive.
You mentioned blackmail. Are you being blackmailed?
Why, yes. Why aren't you investigating the criminals behind this whole operation?
Who?
I'm very certain it's the Russian mob. I won't share my money with them, which they did not earn. So they want me embarrassed and disgraced. I wouldn't cough up a ruble for those thugs.
That's enough from you. Let's get back to the murder.
What? Really? Oh.
You didn't come forward when you heard about the murder.
I had no reason to. A maid is killed. How is this my business?
She was your girlfriend.
Ah, but you say she is not detective.
Seems like you were trying to avoid this investigation.
No, I had every intention of cooperation. In fact, when you found me, I was on my way to see my lawyer.
Uh-huh. In your jet.
He's on vacation in Florida.
Oh. Going to London.
You said you were headed to London. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to Moscow from there, and then you'd be out of our reach.
Your knowledge of geography is so American.
So let's say, maybe this girl, Rachel, maybe she liked it a little rough, and you obliged. Consenting adults, right?
Sure, completely consenting.
And the cane could have been involved.
Could have been.
Tell me how the cane fits into this scenario. Was it an accident?
I'm sure it must have been.
Did she ask you to use it?
Yes, she asked me to do it. It was her idea. She liked that kind of thing, I guess. Like I said, it was all consensual. This girl was kinky. She saw my cane. She wanted to try it. She was an adult.
So you admit it?
No. No.
Do you have evidence against him? Yeah, we have DNA, right? I mean, they didn't give us a lot of shit. How can I make a decision when we don't know a lot of things? Yes. Bruise marks on Rachel's neck, the cane he was carrying, and the widometer in Rachel's notebook. The sudden flight to London, the cane he was carrying, and the hotel registry for the weekend. The bruise marks on Rachel's neck, which I didn't check, the cane he was carrying, and the DNA evidence. The testimony of Tom Newberry, the bruise marks on Rachel's neck, cane that Brian was. I don't know the significance of the cane. It was the murder weapon. So the cane must be part of the evidence. Bruise marks on Rachel's neck, the cane he was carrying, and the DNA evidence. The bruise marks so the cane is in every single one. It wouldn't be the testimony of Tom Newberry, because Tom Newberry doesn't know anything about him. Bruise marks on Rachel's neck, the cane he was carrying, and the... I think it's the first one. Ah!
You better wipe that smug smile off your face before you get to Rikers.
Miss Benson, I'm innocent of this offensive charge. My lawyers will have this all thrown out, and my country will protect me.
Really? We can place you at the murder scene. We can connect you to the victim and her voicemails. And your cane is a match for the murder weapon.
Now might be a good time to panic.
That's a hell of a lot of evidence to throw out.
That's why I have a hell of a lot of lawyers. Don't worry, I'll be out in a few days. Then maybe I'll call you, baby.
Gosh, you are just not my type. Come on, Ray. Let's go get a bite. Mr. Baran can stew in his own ick for a while.
The district attorney's office takes a dim view of rape and murder in our city, Mr. Baran. Your defense contends you have diplomatic immunity, but the Russian consulate says you only have limited immunity.
My status protects me from prosecution of any crime committed in the course of my diplomatic mission. I met Miss Trevino in the capacity of a Russian media expert as a diplomat.
Did you meet Rachel Trevino at the Parkview Regency?
She said she worked there, so we agreed to meet.
And instead you slept with her?
Yes. Women are attracted to me, Miss Carmichael.
Not all of them.
Objection!
Withdrawn. The cane you carry matches the bruise on Ms. Trevino's neck. Did you have it with you during your meeting with her?
I don't know. It's a cane, Miss Carmichael, not a precious diamond. I don't watch it every single minute.
Matches the bruise on Miss Trevino's neck. Did you have it with you during the meeting with her? Yeah, because it's the murder weapon. When Scott stated he always kept the cane nearby, as a photograph in the past with the canes had it. He had the cane when police arrested him. He told police he choked Rachel. He must have had it during the meeting. I don't know about this. Oh, he said something about the cane, I think. Completely consenting, and the cane could have been involved? Could have been. Tell me how the cane fits into the scenario. Was it an accident? I'm sure it must have been. Did she ask you to use it? Yeah, she asked me to do it. It was her idea. She liked that kind of thing. Excellent. What?
Oh my God! That was for my daughter, you bastard!
Bailiff, restrain that man. Order! Order!
What?
My baby, you murderer!
My God.
Judgment Day. Hero dad gets revenge. Taking care of business. Father does what court cannot. American justice. The headlines go on. The people love this guy.
Chavez Trevino. He killed the smug bastard who killed his daughter. Of course they love him.
How the hell did he get a gun into the courtroom?
This is gonna get messy quick. I say we charge him with voluntary manslaughter and let it go.
Abby?
You know what keeps me up at night? What if his aim was off? Just slightly. I wouldn't even be here to answer your question, Jack.
You're right. I'm not setting a precedent for street justice in our courtrooms, despite what the people think they want. Prove it was premeditated. Hit him with murder one.
You got it, boss.
How does your client plead, Ms. Mullins?
Not guilty. Be advised, we're going to mount a diminished capacity defense. The defendant is a Gulf War vet who suffers from chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. We will show that Mr. Trevino was under extreme emotional distress at the time of the shooting and is therefore not eligible for murder one.
Any issues, counselor?
None, Your Honor. Defense has briefed us already. This doesn't change anything. We're moving ahead with murder one. Focus on the premeditation.
The first witness is Detective Benson. As an eyewitness, she will testify to the facts of the shooting and give the jury an unbiased picture of the killing. To help your case, focus on the pertinent details of the shooting, not the public outcry. Following your questions, the defense will then cross-examine and try to break down her story. Good luck.
Can you tell us definitively who shot Alexander Baran?
Without a doubt, the defendant, Chavez Trevino, shot him. I looked to see Mr. Trevino standing up with a smoking gun in his hand. Literally.
And can you identify him for the court?
Sitting right there. That's your shooter.
Is this an effective testimony? Yeah. Ooh, watch the scales of justice meter to see whether the jury is siding with you or the defense. Perform well in court and the scales will tip in your favor. Perform poorly and the scales will favor the defense. The further the scales are tipped in your favor, the more likely the jury is to convict. It also gives you more power when it comes time to plea bargain. What? What exactly makes it effective? Detective Benson knows a great deal about handguns. Police officers never lie. Detective Benson was an eyewitness to the murder. Detective Benson participated in the capture of Alexander Baran. Because she's an eyewitness. Just sitting right there.
Please let the record show the detective pointed at the defendant. After the shooting, Mr. Trevino made a voluntary statement to you about why he shot Mr. Baran. True?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said Mr. Baran had to die. He said Mr. Baran was going to claim immunity, escape prosecution, and run back to Russia.
What else did he say?
He said the courts were weak, powerless. He said the only justice he wanted was a death sentence.
So, his motive was less about avenging his daughter's murder and more about exacting the type of justice he wanted to see.
Objection.
Withdrawn.
Good job. Occasionally, a well-aimed jab at the defendant can score points with the jury, even though you have to withdraw it.
Detective, how exactly did Mr. Trevino get a gun into the courtroom? Aren't there security measures?
We're still investigating how he breached security. But he claims he stuffed it into his jacket and simply walked through.
How difficult would it have been to get past security?
Mr. Trevino had to avoid metal detectors and checkpoints covering every entrance.
What would it take to get past all that security, Miss Benson?
Forethought, planning, and intelligence. Mr. Trevino had to keep his cool and his wits about him at all times.
What's Benson doing? Won't this testimony help the defendant? No. Premeditation is what she's trying to prove. To establish that Trevino was not under extreme emotional distress when he acted. To establish grounds for a mistrial. To cast doubt on whether Trevino was the shooter. To establish Benson as an experienced law enforcement officer. First one.
Actions inconsistent with someone under emotional distress.
In my view, yes.
Is there any doubt as to the circumstances of the shooting, Detective?
None. Mr. Trevino shot the defendant in front of witnesses and admitted to the murder afterward. I wish every case was as simple.
Thank you, Detective. Your Honor, the people rest. No further questions for this witness.
For this testimony, the jury sides with the prosecution. You won plus 50. While the jury likes your case a little bit, you're ahead by plus 50. Christina Mullins is the defense attorney you're facing today. Your job is to object when she gets out of line. Here are 2 tricks she likes to use. She will disguise comments as questions, such as, "Are we really supposed to believe this lie?" This is argumentative. Comments as question. She will also insult your witness by calling him a lowlife or criminal. This is badgering. Remember, badgering is a straight insult. Argumentative is when Mullins casts doubts on the testimony disguised as a question.
Detective Benson, you testified that you saw the defendant, Chavez Trevino, shoot the victim.
No, I testified that I turned around and saw Mr. Trevino with a smoking gun in his hand, about a second after I heard the shots.
So you didn't actually see him do the shooting? Are we supposed to believe you're a relevant eyewitness?
Objection.
Badgering is a straight insult. Argumentative is when Mullins casts doubts on the testimony disguised as a question. That one was argumentative.
Argumentative.
Sustained. Ms. Mullins, enough with the rhetoric.
Immediately after the shooting, what did Mr. Trevino look like?
I don't follow you.
Was he composed? Calm?
He was in possession of himself.
Wasn't he yelling out, "My baby, you murdered her"?
He said that, yes.
He was out of his mind with grief. He was coming apart at the seams, and you didn't see it? Really? I don't believe you.
He was upset.
He was out of his mind with grief. He was coming apart at the seams, and you didn't see it. I don't believe it. That's badgering.
Objection. Badgering.
Objection overruled.
Is your heart so cold, Detective? Are you such a robot that you can't see another human in distress? Let's try this one more time. Was my client, Chavez Trevino, visibly shaken and distressed following the shooting?
Yes.
Did he appear rational, calm?
No.
Was his behavior at that moment consistent with a person in severe emotional distress?
Yes.
So despite any forethought or planning he might have shown previously, the defendant was clearly in distress when he fired his weapon. True? True?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all for this witness, Your Honor.
It's good. Oh, fuck. The jury sides with the defense. You lost 15, but you're ahead by 35. God damn.
I just got a message from Cormac. You know the gun we took off Chav Trevino?
Yeah?
It's a ballistics match to the one used in the preppy joggers murder.
The joggers? The 2 kids who got killed in the park? That was in the 90s.
It was 1998. Me and Lenny Briscoe caught the case, but we ran out of leads and were never able to close it. We got pulled off, actually, and burned the old man's ass pretty good.
Oh, tough break. But, well, then, how did Trevino get it?
Yeah, good question, Detective. This case has been on my mind since I got back. Then this falls in my lap. I feel like I owe it to Lenny.
Ray, any way I can help out, I'm in.
Thanks.
Now it's the defense turn to make their case. Christina Mullins is up to her old tricks. There are 2 new objections for you to learn. Hearsay is a valid objection when a witness quotes someone who is not in court or cannot testify to the truth of the repeated statement. No expert knowledge is when a witness testifies with no expertise to back it up. For example, testifying on medical matters with no medical. And remember, sometimes knowing when not to object is just as important. The correct choice may be to withdraw your objection.
Mickey, in the weeks after your sister's murder, how did your dad act?
Crazy. My dad has PTSD again. It all came back. He needs different treatment.
Objection. Mickey Trevino is not a psychiatrist, Your Honor. He's not qualified to diagnose his father.
Sustained. Mr. Trevino, please limit your comments to what you saw.
Tell us the behavior you observed.
He couldn't control his temper. He would like yell when the phone rang or like if a dog was barking 2 miles away. I didn't know what to do. When Rachel was killed, I expected him to be really sad or depressed, but not, you know, not angry.
And this behavior, had you ever seen it before?
No, but my sister did.
Yes.
Objection.
Hearsay.
Hearsay. Regrettably, the witness's sister is deceased and can't testify to the truth of this statement.
Sustained. The jury will disregard that last remark.
When?
After he got home from the Gulf War, 1991. Pop had his troubles with the law. A felony assault charge, some other bullshit, some other nonsense.
See here. This deceased can't testify to the truth of this, and with disregard. After he got home from the Gulf War in 1991, Pop had his trouble with the law, a felony assault charge.
Did you think he would hurt anyone?
My uncle said he was getting dangerous.
Objection.
Hearsay.
Hearsay.
Sustained. If your uncle would like to testify, then by all means. However, you may not testify for him.
Do you think your father was in his right mind when he shot Alexander Baran?
No. When my sister got murdered, I tell you, it smashed something deep inside my dad. And the idea that this fat Russian bastard could walk away scot-free because of some technicality? My dad did the world a favor.
Thank you, Mickey. No further questions.
Yay! Jury sides for the prosecution. Plus 35. You're ahead by plus 80. Woo! We got this case in the bag. Your turn with Mickey Trevino. See if you can make him admit he knew his father and had a plan to kill Alexander Baran, or try to obtain a weapon.
Did your father try to buy a gun a week before the attack?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you try to help sign for it?
Yeah, so what?
Your father was convicted of felony assault in 1992. He's not allowed to have a gun. Did you know about his conviction?
Nah, I didn't know nothing about that. Man's got a right to defend himself.
Actually, when he's a convicted felon, he doesn't. Where did he get the gun he used in court?
I told the cops already. I don't know where he got the gun.
You sure you didn't help him?
I've never seen it before. I didn't even know he had one.
You sure you didn't help him get it? You are under oath, Mr. Trevino.
I did not help him. Pop smuggled it in under his jacket. I don't know how he made it past security, but he did.
Can you prove he's lying? Man's got a right to defend himself, actually, when he's convicted. It's not, I told the cops already, I don't know where he got the gun. I never seen it before, I didn't even know he had one. Pop smuggled it in under his jacket. I don't know how he made it past. Ah! Oh, I should have known better. I don't have anything on that.
Did you know Alexander Baran claimed he didn't kill your sister? Does that bother you?
No, I know he did it.
How?
You could just tell.
But now you can never know for sure. No one can. You didn't let a court decide. You didn't let a jury decide.
That man's convinced.
And my dad decided. We wanted justice.
That sounds like vengeance, not justice.
Sometimes they're two sides of the same coin, Mr. Cutter.
Oh, so we're flipping coins now?
What? Don't allow me to justify the killing on the stand? What? That was a red herring, really? Jeez.
How do you and your father feel about Alexander Baran?
How do we feel? Are you freaking serious?
Easy, Mr. Trevino.
Sorry, Judge. We hate the man. Alexander Baran is the guy who killed my little sister. My pop said he didn't care what happened to him. He said he would gladly kill Baran so we could go to hell and kill him again. He's a fat cat with an army of lawyers ready to help him weasel out of everything he does. You know this guy. Every day you read about him. Oh, he loves to do the crime, but he does not do the time. Nope, not these boys.
Did you ever hear your father threaten to kill Baran?
Hurt? Yes. Kill? No.
Yeah, you just said that you were... Okay, what did he say? Baran's the guy who killed my sister. My pop said he didn't care what happened to him. He said he would gladly kill Baran so you could go back to him.
That's not true. You just told us your father said he'd like to, quote, kill Baran and go to hell so he could kill him again.
That was like just a figure of speech.
Or the truth. Why didn't you get help for your dad?
He seemed rational.
So he was in control? Enough so that you weren't worried?
Yeah, I wasn't worried.
So where's the PTSD?
I guess I didn't see it then.
So maybe he didn't have it.
That's not what I meant. He did.
So why didn't you get him help? Either you saw he was out of control and you did nothing, or you saw nothing.
Hey, there was no way to know what my dad was gonna do. He was crazy. How could I possibly have known it would come to this?
Could he have known? Yes, because they talked about it. Said that his father tried to buy a gun and he wanted to kill Baran. He said a dirtbag like Baran would get shot sooner or later. He was on drugs, okay. Had to buy a gun. The answer is easy, but it's not here.
He already had a felony assault in his past, he tried to illegally buy a gun, and he told you he wanted Baran dead. If that was my old man, I'd have been a little worried. You want us to believe your dad just snapped. You say he hated Alexander Baran, knew in his heart Baran was guilty. He tried to buy a gun, but couldn't. So he found one some other way. Then he smuggled it through security, stayed cool until he had a fair shot, and fired an accurate pattern right into his intended victim. Now, Mickey, does that really sound like someone who just suddenly snapped?
Objection!
Withdrawn.
None of this would have happened if people acted right. Rachel writes a nasty blog and this guy Baran kills her. My dad's going out of his mind and his doctor goes on frickin' vacation. Vacation, can you imagine? It ain't right. Everybody fails us, and we gotta suffer for it.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Yay. Jury seems convinced by your case. You're ahead by plus 90. We're gonna win this one for sure. The defense is going to do some new tricks, so it's time to brush up on your objections and then learn a new one. You remember hearsay means a witness is repeating something third hand, and remember also that no expert knowledge means a witness is talking about medical, legal, or professional knowledge they don't really know. Here's your new one. Speculation is when the witness speculates about what might have happened, hypothetically. This is not considered admissible evidence in
Mr. Trevino, why did you shoot Alexander Baran?
He murdered my daughter. He was gonna go free. He was going to walk.
Objection.
Speculative.
The witness can't know whether Mr. Baran was guilty or whether he would have gone free because he stopped the trial dead.
Sustained.
Can you tell us about Alexander Baran's diplomatic immunity?
I'm not a lawyer, but I know what that means. He just gets to skate. The law says he can run off to Russia.
Objection. Witness stated he wasn't a lawyer. The diplomatic immunity rules are actually very complex, Your Honor. Alexander Baran's status was still under review even at the time of the trial.
Sustained.
Mr. Trevino, can you take us back to 1991 and your experience after the Gulf War?
Yeah, I was a ranger in Iraq. I saw a lot of stuff. When I got back home, I had some trouble settling in.
What kind of trouble?
I was never a violent guy before, but suddenly anything could set me off. I fought all the time. I couldn't sleep. My wife divorced me. I wanted to die.
And what did the Army say?
The doctors said I had PTSD. They said it interfered with my ability to regulate my emotions. So I joined a therapy group. I took meds for a while for the depression, got myself back together.
What might have happened if you hadn't had therapy?
I don't know. Maybe gone crazy, maybe hurt somebody. I might have snapped, like I did that day in court.
Objection. No expert knowledge.
Overruled.
You got yourself back together. You lived a normal life. So what happened recently to bring it all back?
Rachel.
Your daughter was tragically murdered, and the main suspect appeared to you to have diplomatic immunity.
Speculation.
Objection. Speculation.
Overruled. Defense is well within its rights to use words like suspect and appears in relation to the victim.
Oh, God.
She was my beautiful baby girl.
We're
He
gonna
had
lose
no
this
right.
now.
How could this happen in the 21st century in America? An innocent girl gets killed, the cops pin the blame on this scumbag, and still...
He might walk away.
As a man, as a father, I couldn't let that happen. She looked to me to protect her. All her life, I was a daddy, right? And I failed. And you failed. You didn't protect her when she needed it most. What use is all your legal garbage if you can't put a killer behind bars? So, as a father, it was up to me to put that wrong to right. Because no one else was gonna. Now my baby girl can rest with some kind of dignity.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino. And sorry for your loss.
Mr. Cutter, your witness.
Defense requests a short recess, Your Honor. We wish to confer with the people about a plea deal.
Well, make it quick. We're all on pins and needles.
He resides for the prosecution, plus 50. Okay, so I'm still ahead by plus 80.
Mike,
Please.
Abby, let's not let a grieving father go to jail for the rest of his life. Can we talk deal?
Depends. What are you offering, Christina?
1 year in county plus probation. You give us the time.
What?
He doesn't belong in jail.
You're kidding, right? He's a killer. I got the bloodstains on my jacket to prove it.
Here's our counteroffer.
If the scales of justice show that you perform extremely well in court, you might try for the maximum sentence of murder 2, which is 25 years. If you're less confident, however, consider a lesser charge that both of you and the defense feel is appropriate. Remember, if the scales of justice don't favor you, the defense is likely to reject your offer. Click the transcript to review the legal definitions of murder versus manslaughter. Offer murder if you feel the defendant acted in a premeditated manner and knew that he was doing at the time what he was doing at the time of the murder. Offer manslaughter if you feel the defendant acted out of passion or insanity or was provoked and not entirely responsible for his action, but he is entirely responsible for his action.
Murder 2, 25 years, but with the possibility of parole at 15. If you're the good person you say you are, then it shouldn't be a problem.
You got yourself a deal, Mike.
Oof.
We'll have the papers drawn up. The people have agreed to a plea and a sentence for the defendant, Your Honor.
Maybe I should just
Then I
no
thank
deal.
the jury for their service. Counsel, I will see you at the sentencing hearing on Monday.
Mr. Cutter, Miss Carmichael, I just wanted to say thank you for the deal. I know what I did was wrong, but Rachel was a beautiful person. She was smart. She was going places. She wanted to help the world, you know, make it a better place. But this bastard just walked into her life and ended it all.
And you walked into a courtroom and ended his life.
Why can't the law protect us?
From who? Alexander Baran? Or you?
I shouldn't have
Right.
given him any deal.
Thought you'd be out having a drink.
Nah, I'm going through some old files on the Preppy case.
Trying to tie the gun to Trevino?
And coming up cold. I wish Lanny was still around. He was good at this kind of thing.
Well, this ought to cheer you up. Turns out, Mickey Trevino is an HVAC contractor for the city.
Okay.
Guess where he did a midnight repair 24 hours before the Alexander Baran trial?
Superior Court. He snuck the gun into an air duct.
Shall we go have a word with him?